My name is Maria5. Welcome to my channel if you're new. Welcome back to my channel if you're not so new. I am here today talking about a tea and a make and a book. So, without further ado, the tea I have today is chamomile. I'll just remove that coaster. Here we go here. And it actually has a considerable amount of honey in it. I am not actually a fan of chamomile. It always tastes oily to me. I don't know. Maybe none of you else get that, but enough honey will mask that oily flavor. So this is chamomile tea with honey, and it's really soothing, really good at calming the nerves down, really good to have if you're going to have a tea before bed. This is it. However, it's the middle of the afternoon and here I am drinking chamomile tea. But I mean, it's good other than that oily flavor. If you can mask it with honey, or maybe it doesn't taste oily to you. I don't know. Anyway, it does have a nice flavor to it. So, the make is this. I'll just lever myself up here. And yeah, just cotton. It's the same pattern as the one I wore when I was talking about the 7 skins of Esther Wilding, and I will link that below. And the book today I have is called When You're Ready, This Is How You Heal, and it's by Brianna Wiest. It's 2022, and it inspired me because I read 108 essays to change the way you think, and there were about 24 essays that I just thought, wow, they really spoke to me. And it was published in 2016. And so, of course, it wasn't even remotely recent enough to talk about on this channel. But this one is so. So she starts off, and this is, I'm paraphrasing here, but she starts off saying, she writes because this idea or this thought changed her life, and everything springboards off from there. And I thought, yeah, I mean, this book would have been so good had I been 16 or 22 or 30, but a lot of it I now know because I've also had those thoughts or lessons that have changed my life. And yeah, I mean you can see how much I'm going to read here. What I consider nuggets. You might not consider nuggets. You might have completely different nuggets. And it would be, I think, a very interesting experiment if you were to buy 20 copies of this book. And, you know, you own it. So it's okay to take a highlighter to it and highlight those golden nuggets for you, and do it every 3 years. And then do a comparative analysis as to what's changed, because you will have changed. You will have had different experiences in your life. And of course, different things speak to you at different times. And of course, there's also the old adage, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And I firmly believe that. I don't think, you can be hit over the head with the same life lesson over and over and over until you're finally ready to learn it. And then you learn it and it goes away. And one of those things, which this book doesn't actually talk about, but one of those things for me actually was loneliness. I really struggled hard with loneliness, and I was really unhappy. And I thought that, I don't know why I thought this, but I always thought, if it was the right person or the right dress or the right occasion or the right location, I would be happy. And yeah, it took a long time to figure out that this right here, this is where happiness is. It comes from within. It comes from inside you. And once I figured that out, I never struggled. I mean, I haven't been lonely in, oh my gosh, 30 years. Like, it's been a long time. But it takes sometimes something quite significant. In my case, it was my father dying, where I was like, oh, you can't rely on anybody or anything or the right dress or the right person. It comes from inside you. And so that for me was a huge life lesson. And Maybe you never had that. Maybe you're always, I don't know. I mean, for me, that was a big thing because I was always thinking it was something outside me until I finally figured out that no, happiness comes from within. And you hear that, but it was this lesson that just kept bonking me over the head over and over and over until I was finally ready to learn it. And for me, it took a major life event and my best friend, the loss of my best friend, to figure out, oh, it wasn't up to him. It's not up to anybody else. It's up to me to make me happy. And consequently, the last 30 years, I've been really happy. I mean, but it took a long time. Anyway, enough of that. All right, we're going to get into reading some of this. When you're ready, this is how you heal. And these are nuggets that spoke to me. They may not speak to you. If you picked up this book and read this, I 100% guarantee that you will have different nuggets. Some of them might be the same, but probably not a lot of them. So I'm going to read, and this will give you a taste. It will give you an idea, and maybe it's something you want to pick up at the library, buy a copy because you know you're going to highlight it or make notes or journal or whatever you feel like you need to do. Okay. But the longer you stay small, tucked into the familiarity of the people who use you as a cushion, a back burner option, a therapist, and a ploy for their emotional labor, the longer you keep yourself out of the community you crave. Maybe if you stop showing up, you'll be less liked. Maybe you'll be forgotten about altogether. Maybe if you stop trying, the relationship will cease. Maybe if you stop texting, your phone will stay dark for days and weeks. Maybe if you stop loving somebody, the love between you will dissolve. That doesn't mean you ruined a relationship. It means that the only thing sustaining a relationship was the energy you and you alone put into it. That's not love. That's attachment. Powerful stuff. The truth is that to some people you are the beauty standard. To others you are simply overlooked. To some you are a genius at your craft. To others you are irrelevant. To some you are an incredible friend. To others you are a complete stranger. To some you are a life partner. To others you are not someone they'd even date. To some you are a teacher. To others you are a student. To some you are a guide. To others you are a beginner. To some you are a shining light. To others you reveal their darkness. The reality is that you exist in so many different forms and images and beliefs and stories, and yet the only one that is ever really going to matter is the one you tell yourself. Allow this knowing to free you. For many people, the catalyst that prompts them to begin a process of positive disintegration is often the loss of a major relationship, job, or family member. In one way or another, something that you expected to be around for the foreseeable future was taken, and in that your sense of safety was removed as well. Other times, this event can be much harder to detect. In fact, you may not realize that anything has happened at all. Instead, what's being planted is a seed of doubt. Maybe you saw an old friend and it prompted you to evaluate your own progress in life. Maybe someone close to you is moving on with their life in a big way and it's made you rethink what you really want. Maybe your stress and dissatisfaction have simply just started to compile, and you find yourself wondering how much longer you can sustain your current routine. Regardless, life almost never changes for the better unless a disruptor is present, something that makes us question and dare to change our own status quo. Letting go is not an event, it's a practice. It is something we learn to do with the small stuff so that when the big stuff comes around, we know how. We have to learn to let go of thoughts, of moments. You'll let go with gratitude and step in with grace. Periods of transition can be tough, but when you're really ready, you'll know how to let go with gratitude and step in with grace. What this means is that you'll be thankful for everything you've experienced, including each misstep and mistake, From each, you learn something invaluable, and for that, you won't really regret it. Then you'll step in with the same sense of appreciation. You'll take the first strides into your new chapter with a feeling of ease and awe, because you know what it's like to live out of alignment with who you are, and you'll never forget how good it feels to finally be on the other side. When we hit our breaking point and assume we are more lost than ever before, it's not because everything has spontaneously gone wrong. The breakdown is not a singular event. It is a tipping point. It's the moment at which we can no longer stay in denial about what's really going on. We arrive here because we can't remember the last time we felt good about our bodies, because we've had the same relationship problems for years, because the negative thought patterns that have been eroding us are finally holding us back just enough that we know it's time to let them go. N.A. Nin has a quote that is quite famous, and it is something to the effect of, as you can see, this book has a lot of nuggets that spoke to me directly. But if you read it, you may find something completely different. You may find several things completely different. I think that's the beauty of the human condition, the beauty of nature, is that we all have our own decisions to make, our own choices, our own life paths, and our own problems and issues. And I think it's why we should approach everybody with a little bit of naivety rather than judgment, because you have not walked in their shoes. You don't know what their struggles are. And guaranteed, everybody has struggles. They just look different. And sometimes they don't even look like anything because it's all going on up here. And we put on a brave face and we soldier on, but that is not always the case. So it was a great read. I really, really highly recommend this one. And if you are so interested, 101 Essays that Change the Way You Think. Also a really good read. It's just older. I mean, you probably can find copies, but it's not guaranteed anymore. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Please like, please subscribe, and I will see you next Saturday. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye-bye.